Jay, we've got quite a few comments on some of our videos with questions to us and just some gold comments, I'd say here.
Okay, I love that there's comments. Um, I don't read every comment, but the few that I have read, I seem to be getting bashed pretty well. So I'm kind of curious to hear what you got.
Yeah, and I heard that some were held back for review as well. Is that correct?
Um, yeah, I'd have to check with the our social media person, but yeah, a handful have been held back for review, and I think probably 80-90% of them were released.
So I guess we'll start with the 10 questions for a Christian because we had quite a bit of feedback on that one.
All right.
Here's a long one from. I'm gonna see if I can pronounce this first try. Tsukasa no Duji 5089.
All right.
That's a bit of a mouthful. On 10 questions for a Christian, he says, "Hey Jay, I was cheering you on about your answer about the LGBTQ community up until, quote, just don't shove it down my face. He'll be honest here, you seem like a cool dude. Seem like the kind of dude I'd like to chill with, beer in hand, if you even drink. Do you drink, Jay?"
Well, I think if you've watched any of our videos, I think it's pretty evident I've always got a can of estrogen in my hand.
Might be able to have a beer with him. But the last comment gave me pause. I'm an atheist and a bi man, and I kind of understand where you're coming from, considering I'm from a super religious family, Baptist Christian. We aren't really shoving it down your throat. We are just existing, honestly. We live in a society that's propped up a specific type of relationship while demonizing and outlawing others. Not even 20 years ago, I couldn't even marry my boyfriend because we were both men, and there are still a lot of things we are removed from because of this. My mother is a lesbian who didn't come out until she was 30, and after that, and and that was after her father was dead. Her mother got dementia, and she had 5 kids with men she didn't love. And after all that, she lost. And after all of that, she lost friends, family, was kicked out of the church, and forced to raise her 5 kids as a single mother. My best friend is a trans girl, and she is slowly losing her rights to medical care, is constantly harassed, and there are still laws that make it legal to murder a trans woman if the murderer claims she tricked him into sex. Look up trans panic argument. When I turn on the TV, I can find countless shows that have multiple heterosexual romantic side plots, rom-coms about heterosexual couples, and reality shows about women competing to win some rich dude's heart. But I can count the homosexual couples I know of on one hand. Not a single one of them is the main couple. What you see as shoving it down your throat is just us trying to convince the extreme side of the religious people that we deserve to exist in the way that is best for us, and we deserve equal rights to any other person. Sorry about this long, confusing rant. I just can't stand that comment. Like I said, you sound like a really cool dude, but the last bit gave me a proverbial whiplash.
Okay, so let me start with. Well, thanks. I think I'm a pretty cool dude, and we could definitely have a beer sometime. An atheist bi man. I happen to know an atheist bi man who I'm actually very good friends with. In fact, I'm looking at him right now. His name is Myke, and that holds no bearing. I don't give a damn if he's bi, you're bi. I don't care. What was the next point? LGBTQ. I don't know what it all is right now, but live, be free, be happy, right? I personally, I don't give a damn. I could care less. Maybe that statement, right? Shoving it down my throat. Maybe that was the wrong thing to say. In these drag shows, right? And if you look across the United States, you'll see where it's being promoted to children. Okay, this type of thing is being promoted to children. I think that's wrong. No child should be exposed to that type of thing, in my opinion. My opinion, not the census of everybody out there, right? That's just my opinion. If you're gay, you're bi, you're trans, you're a lesbian, whatever. Okay. But I will say this. If you look like a man, sound like a man, and I call you sir, don't get pissed at me if you look like a man, you sound like a man, and I say, I'm sorry, sir, and you get pissed off at me, well, I'm sorry. You sound like a fucking man. You look like a man. You think, you say you're a woman, but you're a man. That kind of thing right there, with, this whole misgendering thing, that's I would say where I have an issue today. As far as homosexuality, okay, good. Be happy.
Jay, you might also want to include some of the LGBTQ people that are in your life that you care about, other than just me.
My daughter, who is a lesbian. How about my former brother, now sister, who went from Josh to Stephanie? I'm talking full surgery, everything. And I love her.
Tying it kind of all together, the main issue that this commenter had was mostly the saying that people from that community are shoving their identity down your throat by basically just doing the same thing that heterosexual people do, and you don't have a problem with them, but it seemed like you had a problem with them.
No, I don't have any problem with any member of the LGBTQ community. I know dozens of people who are included in that community, and they're all wonderful people.
And
We get along great. We again, talking about sit down, hang out, and have a beer. I kick it with these people on a regular basis. Yes, I'm getting old, but they're all good friends of mine, and I treat them with the same amount of respect that I treat anybody else, and I would go and defend them against anything, just like I would any straight person. Your sexuality means absolutely nothing to me.
All right, so looking at the same video here, we have another comment from a 3 Days Still War that says, you might like this one. Either the guy in the cowboy hat is a comic genius who has invented the funniest character I've ever seen, or he's a complete dolt, D-U-L-T. If this is real and you actually want a serious podcast that addresses seriously issues, I suggest you get 1, an actual Christian, and 2, a person with an IQ higher than a doorknob.
Apparently, I'm adult, or I'm a comic genius. I'll let you decide.
I said, how does it feel that you don't have the 3 Days Still War stamp of approval?
Oh. I need to go consult another doorknob to see how we feel about this.
Cool. So, same video. Comment from Tiny Magoo 1195. It says, I appreciate the honesty. I do wonder if such a god should exist. Would he see through the, quote, belief just in case stance? If so, then I'm not sure what the point would be. I'd like to ask Jay, and everyone really, to think about something. In his answer about LGBT, he said, if you want to be, what would you think your reaction would be to someone saying, if you want to be a Christian, or if you want to be a hetero, or if you want to be white, do you really think that someone who is gay made a choice to be that way? Perhaps it was just a colloquial gaffe, but I would encourage that if you do not think people choose to be Christian, hetero, or white, then perhaps they do not choose to be gay, atheist, or black, or to be more careful with the wording, and to be more careful with the wording. There are some things about me that some people do not like, and I do not choose to have that situation. I say this as someone who has had first-hand knowledge of what gay bashing is like, and no one chooses to get beaten to a pulp.
Okay, first of all, anyone who gay bashes is a piece of all right? I'll say that. Furthermore, when I say if you want to be, that doesn't necessarily address the entire LGBTQ community. Okay. I think that there are some people who are wired that way, and that's just the way it is. And then I think there's other people who choose. It's only my opinion. Okay. Anybody out there who watches this or wants to comment, you can get mad all you want. But this is just my opinion.
All right. So we have another comment on the same video from Basic Ants. They said, you should have asked Jay a better question regarding other religions, such as, what if the Hindu religion is the correct one? Does Jay think he will go to Hindu hell, Naraka? If that is the case, Jay's Christianity seems a little more like Pascal's wager. In fact, he admitted as much. So, Pascal's wager, we might have touched on that in a different video, but it's the whole, if there is a God, and he could exist and could send me to hell, the safe bet would be believing in that God in the hope that they don't send me to that kind of hell. That idea is known as Pascal's wager, but what it doesn't take into account is how do you know that you're serving the right God?
I don't know. I
So
don't know. That's
I
the
think
gamble that I'm taking.
I guess he was wondering like why Christianity rather than any other religion,
Why Christianity other than any other religion? Because
or
that's what
why
I
the
was.
Christian God.
That's what I was raised on. I mean that is what's predominant in this part of the world. Maybe if I was raised in India, I would you know be Hindu.